Good morning, folks. There are some things I want to say. First, there is indeed an oligarchy of the super elite, the globalists, that would like no better than to implement the policies of depopulation. It is their opinion that there's just way too many people and that it's probably necessary to decrease that by about 50%. They also want a new world order because as a species, these elitists feel that we will not survive, that we don't have enough sense to govern ourselves. Now, having said that, as to whether any of these policies are going to be implemented as for depopulation, the New World Order, there is the possibility, but not in my lifetime, that we will probably see a one-world government. And we'll most likely see a North American trade union. At my age, there's really nothing I can do about it now. Now, I want to give you a brief journey again about my generation. In the late 60s, early 70s, I was in college. Many people in my generation, our politics, our ideals were all basically rooted in music. Whenever Bob Dylan would put out a new album, many of us would just await it so eagerly to dissect it for all the meanings. Bob Dylan is such a musical genius. His influence was just pervasive throughout the entire musical community. Music really began to change in '66 with the Beatles, Revolver, and other groups. They all had their own distinct sound. When you listened to them on the radio, you knew who they were. They were all message songs. And Bob Dylan, the Beatles, the Rolling Stones, Jefferson Airplane, the Moody Blues, the Eastern spiritualism of the Moody Blues. Many of us embraced all of this completely, and we immersed ourselves in Eastern thought and yoga, and we were all at the hippies. We were anti-war, anti-establishment, anti-materialism. The true hippie moved into back to nature, into communes. And as the hippie movement progressed, then the drug scene came in and everything dissolved quickly. But the music was still there. And then in the 70s, you had the laid-back sounds of the Eagles. And the one song that really energizes me a lot out of the 70s was Meatloaf, Like a Bat Out of Hell. Also, it was during this time period I met the love of my life. She was majoring in journalism. I was majoring in biochemistry. I was minoring in math. And as a part of her curriculum, she'd have to go see these art movies at some of the UT theaters. And she'd drag me along with her to see Fellini and Bergman. And when the movie was over, I didn't even have a clue what the movie was about, but she would critique it, and then after reading her critique, I would understand it. So slowly but surely, my love for philosophy and literature began to supersede my love for science. Unfortunately, she died in 1983. She was my soulmate. She had tubercular meningitis, and we were both into holistic medicine, and she refused to go to a doctor when a simple sulfur drug would have cured her. And she waited till it was too late. Now we move into the 80s, where you had the materialism of Reaganism, you had the conservatism, you had the rise of the machines, as I call it. Pink Floyd, in this song, Just Another Brick in the Wall, pretty well expressed the nihilism and the existentialism that began to creep into a lot of people. And as conservatism became stronger and stronger, the me first attitude began to emerge. Like that movie Wall Street, greed is good. And what do we see today? We see millions of people suffering now because of the greed and the criminal activities of Wall Street, your oil speculators, your huge corporations. The free markets have essentially been stifled, if not killed. Because I'm sure Obama is going to impose heavy regulations on the free markets. When you have this amount of suffering because of the capricious criminal behavior of so many people on Wall Street and so many people in the white collar in the banking institutions, then I don't see how we're going to get away from this type of regulation. Look at old Bernie Madoff. You know, he made off a lot of people's money, didn't he? Well, I'm sure that the Jewish community is going to find a way to punish Mr. Madoff. Now, we're going to see an exponential, we're already seeing it, a rise in crime, home invasions, as more and more people become unemployed, more and more people become desperate. They are, like 99.9% of the people are going to turn to the government for the answer, for the solution. And there's really no answer, there's really no solution right now. I don't think in my lifetime, I hope I'm wrong, I'm 65 years old. I hate to think I'm going to spend what years I have left just struggling to survive, struggling to protect the people who are now living with me. It's not a pleasant thought. Back when I was in college, I was young, I was full of ideals, the whole world was open. My reading, you know, from Alan Watts to Hermann Hesse to Dr. Carl Jung to all the Eastern philosophies to comparative religions, I was just like a sponge. I just soaked it all up. Has it done me any good? I don't know. Old age does not necessarily confer wisdom. I'm grateful to YouTube that it gives me the opportunity to express my truth and my truth only. It gives me an opportunity to express my reality as conditioned by my upbringing, which I am completely aware of. I am totally aware that everybody's reality is preconditioned on all the factors in their life. They are the summation of their life experiences, either good or bad. So on this video, I think I've said enough. I don't know where we're heading. I don't know where we're going. I don't know how all of this is going to turn out. But however it turns out, I hope all of us have the necessary skills, the honesty, the integrity, the openness to make it through this as one family, as one America. Good morning, my friend.